रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। भगवत्यै सीतायै नमः। भगवते हनुमते नमः। A very, very peculiar question today we will put to ourselves. Why are we doing what we are doing now? Whatever we are doing now, why are we doing this? We put a question. One cannot answer it immediately just like that. Why are we reading the Sri Ramcharitmanas? Why are we reading the Valmiki Ramayana? Why are we reading Hanuman Chalisa, Sankat Mochana Hanuman Ashtak? Okay, one person may answer. The most, very, very simple answer. I don't have nothing to do. I don't have anything to do, therefore I am coming, I am sitting here. The second person will say, we are all in the ashram and the Swami itself is sitting. And if we don't sit down, what will happen? The third person will say, I have not studied Sanskrit at all. I am getting an opportunity to read Sanskrit. Fourth person might say, it's interesting to work on this, these gadgets. Whether I listen to this one or not, that's secondary. But it's interesting to work on these gadgets, so I come here. The fifth one will say, I've been told to do it, so I'm doing it. See how many answers are possible. How many answers are possible. So when we have got a particular purpose to do, depending upon our own prakritis, we all have our own natures. And natures are so different from one another. Each and every person's nature is absolutely unique. Please understand this. Each and every one of us is a classical, excellent creation of God. It's a wonderful creation of each and every person. We all are so unique. None of us are like another. Each one of us are different. So when we have so many prakritis, we can have billions of reasons for doing any activity. But why should God create this world? What work has God? Because God has got nothing to do. He can do, he need not do, or he can undo. He's got all the freedom, isn't it? Paramatma has all the freedom in the world. Remember, even here, sitting down here also, comparatively, I'm just saying comparatively, the head of the institution has got all the freedom. The head of the institution, comparatively, I'm saying, sapeksha. The head of the institution has got all the freedom to do something or not do. So the head of the institution decides to do something. If you put a question, why? Because he likes to do it. Same way in any other institution also you go, any other place you go, where the head of that particular organization is there, the head of the organization is the one who is comparatively having the highest freedom. So you keep on going like that. The head of a small house, the head of a village, the head of a district, and so on, so on, keep on going. But you see, it is not as easy as we think. The freedom is not 100%, Even for the head of the institution, the freedom is not 100%. There is freedom to do anything, but that anything has got, but not this. Anything, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, पर यह नहीं कर सकते हैं. You are able to follow that restriction of the freedom? You can do anything, but not these things. That is where the do's and don'ts come. So entire human race of 750 crores of people in this world, they all are bound by do's and don'ts. Kartavya, akartavya. This is called as kartavya and akartavya. Idu maadabahudu, idu maadabaradu. ये कर सकते हैं, यह नहीं कर सकते हैं, ये तो निश्चित है. So, but Paramatma is one wonderful source of this universe who has nothing called as do's and don'ts. Paramatma is one particular, a very, very unique Shakti who has got no binding at all, absolutely no binding. That is why Kartum, in Sanskrit Kartum means to do, Akartum, not to do, Anyatha Kartum, to do differently, Samartha. Paramatma is Kartum, Akartum, Anyatha Kartum, Samartha. He can do, he need not do, and he can do it otherwise, not the same way which he has done earlier. So this absolute freedom is called as Swatantraha. What we have is not Swatantrata. What we all are experiencing is not true Swatantrata. The only being in this world 100% Swatantra is Paramatma. So that is why you see here, that is why scholars, great saints, they believe each and every word in these scriptures. Please understand the difference. If a person writes a story or fiction or science and geography, another human being has got the capacity to contradict that one and say, you have written that Delhi is 2000 kilometers from Bangalore. Actually you are wrong, it is 2001 kilometers. You have the freedom to contradict that one. Because there is a possibility of an error by a human being, and the error is also based upon the laws made by the human being only. Because the standards, imperial standards are there, which is kept there. The foot, the meter, they are called the standards, These standards are kept and preserved, so that is the measurement, that is the standard for measurement. So if you take, how will you measure how many kilometers is Delhi from here? Oh, you mean by airways? You mean by road? Oh, you mean by walk? Whichever you want to take it, how many kilometers, how will you exactly measure? Exactly you can't measure, Exactly, you can say from the Bangalore airport to the Delhi airport. And that too, the runway you have to take into consideration how much how much taxiing is done by the aircraft. That means you should say from the hangar number 1 to the hangar number 1 of Bangalore to hangar number 1 of Delhi. And in that hangar number 1, how many feet away from this wall the aircraft is parked? That also you have to say. So this is all called as relative truth. What we see in this world is not absolute truth. It's all relative truth. So we have a standard based upon the standard. But Paramatma has got no standards. He creates good people. He creates so-called bad people. I don't say bad because they are just so-called only. And the good ones are so-called good ones. So so-called good people and so-called bad people. And then they have difference of opinion. And then they have difference of power. And then there is a fight between them. And then Paramatma comes like a royal king and says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata. And he says, I come to establish dharma. That is where we find Paramatma's intention is also to maintain the universe for some time. Not always. For some time he wants to maintain. How long does he want to maintain? That is his wish. How long does Paramatma want to maintain this world? It is absolutely his discretion. Ai moz fakir ki diya jhopdi phuk. There was a fakir, there was a sadhu, there was a Mahatma. He was doing tapasya in the forest, just in the forest without any house. He used to get wet in the rain. He used to sit in the sun, in the midst of the animals. Snakes used to go around him, above him, on him. So tigers would nothing, none of them did anything to him because he was so kind, absolutely kind. Then one day he decided, I'll build a hut. He decided, he wants to build a hut. So he built a hut and then she started living in the hut. So some people, they used to pass that side, they used to say, the Mahatma has built a hut. Mahatma has built a hut now. After some days they went there was no hut. They asked the Mahatma, what happened to the hut? Ai moj, phuk diya usko. Ai moj fakir ki diya jhopdi phuk. I wanted to build the hut, I built it. Now I don't want the hut to be there, I burnt it off. So who can stop the Mahatma from doing anything? The one who is totally free. So this is the freedom of Paramatma, which he can do anything, he need not do anything, he can do something differently also. But what is the benefit for us by remembering Paramatma? What benefit do we get? Our only benefit, the only benefit which human being truly cherishes, which he holds in his heart and wants others also to share or be like that, is happiness. It is not money, it is not the body, it is not the position, it is not the power. He just wants to be happy. The only thing which a human being does not want is sorrow. Sukham, we all of us want sukham. Whether we do this activity, whether we do any other activity, whether we have food or whether we sleep or whether we go to meet our friends, whether we go to meet anybody, the ultimate goal of every single human being, including the reptiles, even living beings also, no living being wants anything called as sorrow. Nobody wants it. A person, a very, very wicked person may be giving a lot of difficulty to others, but when the same difficulty comes to his children, no, he can't stand it. For example, the head of a very, very wicked gang. This person may give a lot of difficulty to others and he will enjoy that one. But when it comes to his own children, he can't stand the smallest hurt to his own child. See, nobody wants sorrow, all want happiness only. So that happiness is residing in Paramatma. Paramatma is the bliss. He is the source of all bliss. He is called as Satchitananda. So if you truly align yourself to God and continue doing what you are doing, you will see the difference. But if you don't align yourself to God and continue doing what you are doing, you will see both Sukha Dukkha. But if you want to be above Sukha Dukkha and you want to be always in Paramananda, the only way is to align yourself to Paramatma. That is what the scriptures teaches. Hari Om Tat Sat. We will read this further. We'll read one Chopai and then we'll close. So you see now, Narada Rishi has given a curse. He has cursed Paramatma. He has cursed Narayan. Narada Rishi has given a shapa to Paramatma. So Paramatma has found a reason to reincarnate. Paramatma has got a cause now to reincarnate. Those two Shivaganas, they were also cursed by Narada. So those two also are going to come as Rakshasas. Shrap sis dhari harashiya, Prabhu bahu binati keena, Nij maya ke prabalta, Karshi kripa nidhi leena. When you give a gift to somebody, they will happily accept it. But when you give a curse to somebody, Paramatma takes it happily, others will take it sadly, but Paramatma takes it happily. See the difference? Shrapa sees dhari. Shrapa sees dhari. He took it on his head. He said, okay, thank you, Naraji. Thank you very much for giving me the curse. Harashi hiya. He is happy in his heart. Why is he happy? Why is Paramatma happy? Because ultimately Narada has changed. His devotee has now come to the right path. He will not go wrong again. His intention was to correct the devotee, so he is happy in his heart. Prabhu bahu vinati ki. He said, Naraji, usko bura mat samajhna. Okay, don't feel bad. Actually, you have felt bad already, that's a different matter. But don't feel bad further. Because what I did was only for your sake. But he didn't tell that now. First he has to take away his Maya. Because it is Maya who is making Narada do what he is doing. So Hari takes away the Maya. Nija Maya ke prabalata karashi kripani dilin. Karashi, you see the word karashi, akarshan. Take away, that's why Krishna is called as Krishna. Because he is taking out the Maya, no? Jab Hari Maya duri nivari. Nahi tah Raman Raj Tiharana. This is scene number 2. Completely changed. The setting is completely changed. No Maya, no Vishwamohini Rajkumari, no city, nothing. Is only Narayan and Narada are there. Entire thing has changed. So jab Hari Maya Duri Nivari, when Hari took away his Maya, Nahi Taharama, na Rajakumari, there is no Lakshmi there is no Rajakumari. Tabumuniyati Sabhita Hari Charana. The moment Maya has gone from the heart, gone away from the heart of Narada, Narada has come back to his senses now. Oof. He went and fell at the feet of Narayan and said, protect me, O Narayan, protect me, I am at your feet. Sharanagata Vatsala. I cannot be without you. I have done a very great mistake. He says, and goes and falls at Narayan's feet. Hari Om Tat Sat.